Hi, everyone. I'm Lea Symonds, a technical support representative here at SUMO Scheduler, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our third webinar hosted by SUMO Scheduler. Today, we have an exciting session lined up where we're diving deep into our Invite Manager solution. We have my partner in crime, Angela McKnight, our Customer Success Director, here with us today, and she'll be leading us through creating an Invite Manager process, educating us on the incredible features available to customize your process. For those of you who aren't familiar, SUMO Scheduler is a Salesforce native appointment and event scheduling platform that takes the headache out of booking meetings so that companies can focus on developing the customer relationship that drives growth. By the end of today's webinar, you'll have a good understanding of our Invite Manager, offering to include use cases where you might already be leveraging or want to begin leveraging this module. You'll know how to build your very own customized process and have a good understanding of the different features available to you to enhance your process. Last but not least, you'll have the opportunity to engage our SUMO support here directly for Q&A. We'll be using the chat functionality within the Zoom meeting to address any questions that you may have, and we have some SUMO help here with us today manning the chat. Please feel free to ask questions at any time. We will do our best to answer all the questions as they come in. If we cannot answer your question immediately, we will do our best to post the Q&A along with a webinar recording after the session. Let's dive into some real-life use cases. Some of the examples are sales teams can use the Invite Manager to send meeting invites to prospects with appointment slots when both the sales rep and technical resources are free. This can help streamline the sales process and increase the chances of booking a meeting. Support teams can use the Invite Manager to send meeting invites to customers to schedule web conferencing or troubleshooting issues. This can help to improve customer satisfaction and resolve issues very quickly. Recruiting teams can use the Invite Manager to send meeting invites to job candidates with appointment slots when the entire interview panel is free. This can help streamline the recruiting process and ensure that all members of the interview panel are available. Call centers can use the Invite Manager to send meeting invites to customers to meet with other team members. This can help to improve customer satisfaction and ensure that customers are connected with the right person. Some other cases for the Invite Manager include one-on-one meetings with customers or clients, team meetings, training sessions or workshops, demos or presentations, customer onboarding sessions, and follow-up calls or appointments. These are just a few examples of how our Invite Manager solution can benefit your business and your clients. And what's better, there are many ways to really customize your process, putting controls and options in place that enhance the overall experience both for you and your customers. Angela, let's show the audience here how to start building their Invite Manager process.
Okay, Lea. All right, so first things first, how do I get there to create an Invite Manager process? So first thing I'll do is navigate to SUMO admin settings, and you'll be here on this page. And then over on the left, I'm going to go Invite Manager. And then you'll see from this screen, I can create a new process. I can edit, delete, or clone an existing process. For this demo, I'm going to go ahead and click Edit on my lead process. So the first thing is that you're going to do is you're going to give the template a name. This isn't anything customer facing. It's just so you know what's controlling what. So then the next thing that I would do is choose my force.com site. So that's always going to be SUMO CEP or SUMO Scheduler. And then your global heading is something that is customer facing. So you'll want to have this here. You can change it to schedule a consultation, book a meeting, anything that you wanted to do there. And then this context username is if you wanted to have multiple languages and you needed the language for this specific process to be something different than what your backsync user is. So then here, the first thing that you'll see is the Salesforce object. So you can assign this to any standard or custom object. And what this is going to control is that new appointment, email, and invite button that can be added to any standard or custom object. Okay. And then if I was to check this tab, what you would see is this is going to allow me to create those appointment links. So in your email signature, you can add a link that would allow people to book an appointment with you 24 hours a day based on your real-time availability. Then you would choose the users here that are going to be able to click that button and actually create a new appointment link. So down here, my default scheduling type. So I'm going to do leads, contacts, or person accounts. When it's an appointment link process like this, I can choose multiple. And when you're creating that appointment link, then whoever's creating it can choose to have it scheduled with leads or have it scheduled with contacts. But if you're just adding it to the new appointment or email and invite on one of your objects, you'll just, you won't choose this. This section won't be there. Okay. Then if I scroll down, it would be your logo and your background image, your colors and your fonts, any custom CSS for overrides, your advance notice and furthest for your appointment links and your email and invite. So how far in advance and how far into the future are people going to be able to book appointments with you? You can do this by days or by hours. You can set a default expiration date for your email and invite or your appointment links. CAPTCHA if you wanted to enable that. And then there's some additional settings down here that you can choose to enable or disable independently, like displaying the resource pool list first in the participants. And I will show you later on in this webinar how to create a resource pool. You can hide the email address of internal attendees on your email and invite. You can hide the room and resource section. And then you can allow customers to enter notes or invite other people to your appointments.
Angela, can I use the invite manager if I'm using Salesforce Classic?
Yeah, absolutely. Our buttons can be added to, like I said, any standard or custom object, and also in Lightning or in Classic. Then if I go ahead and navigate to the lead tab, so these are going to be the fields that you're going to capture information from the lead if you sent an appointment link or any additional fields you might want to capture for an email and invite. And right here, I can add any additional fields that I want to. I can make it required or not required. I can hide it like I did up here with the status, because most customers aren't going to know what their lead status is. And then I also can add some help text here in case there's some additional words of wisdom I want to give to that person that's scheduling that appointment about the information that I wanted to capture here. And then some information here if you're going to be passing the parameters or even sending an email and invite. If you send an email and invite, SUMO already knows who that person is. So did you want us to skip the lead form so the customer doesn't see it? Did you want us to pre-populate the lead form so that way they can see the information to make changes if need be? Or pre-populate it read only where they can see it, but they can't make any changes? And then right down here, some additional settings with the lead conversion and making the owner. If I scroll back up and go to the Where tab, so this is going to be my location options that are going to be available for this specific process. So video conference, phone, or in person. If I only do virtual meetings, maybe I don't want people to be able to have those other options. I could turn those other ones off. I can allow the primary participant to provide the appointment details or the web conference details instead of them automatically getting the SUMO one as the host. They can provide their own there. So that primary participant, if they have their own, like a WebEx or something like that they would want to use, you can make it so that they can provide those details. You can also define a default country code. If I go to the What tab, this is going to be my services. So what services are going to be available for this specific process? I can add or remove them very quickly, and I can also rearrange the way that they would show if I wanted them to be in a different order.
What would be a reason I would set a default service?
So good question. If you have all these different appointment types, but say, you know, most of your appointments are this 15-minute meeting, to save your users a click, if it's just that standard 15-minute meeting, you could define a default service. So that way, when they went to go create that appointment, it would automatically default to that 15 minutes and they wouldn't have to choose it.
Okay.
If I go ahead and go to the Who tab, this is going to be my users that are going to be available to be hosts with this specific process. I can define this by users, profiles, or groups. And same thing, I can easily move these people back and forth to make them available or not available. And then right down here, I can create a new resource pool. So what resource pools do is it will make a group of users available for the appointment. So let me explain that a little bit more for you. So if within your company, you have someone that's doing your scheduling and they're not quite sure what appointment, Chantel should have and what appointment Kayla should have, you can create a resource pool like I did here for, say, the sales team. And they can, instead of putting Chantel or Kayla, they could put sales team. And then if I went ahead and edited this, you'd see that it would automatically assign to somebody in this resource pool based on this assignment logic that I set up down here. So you have round robin, load balance, random, priority based. So it kind of takes the guesswork out of who exactly is supposed to get this specific appointment. And then I have the option to reschedule against a pool. So if this appointment, say, was scheduled against a pool and it was scheduled with Kayla, and that customer decides they want to reschedule that appointment, did you want to reschedule against all the users' availability in that specific pool? Or did you want it to always just show Kayla's availability because she's the one that was assigned that appointment initially? Don't change the host of that appointment. Okay. If I go ahead and go to the When tab, these availability options that you see up top here are a little bit easier to explain to you once I get to that section of the email and invite, but just know that this is where they live and I can turn them on or off from this section. I can also add or remove the different time zones. I can display in a 12-hour format or a 24-hour format. And I can also adjust my intervals. So if I want it to show on 15s at 8, 8:15, 8:30, I would keep it to the 15 minutes, or I can change it to 60, which would show at 8, 9, 10, or I could do appointment duration. So that way it's dynamic. So if I chose a 30-minute meeting, it would show my slots in 30-minute slots, or if a 15-minute meeting, it would show them in a 15-minute slot. I can also do top of the interval, which would be top of the hour. Just keep in mind that the hour starts at midnight. So it would be midnight, 1, 2, and so on. Contact. This is exactly the same as the lead that we went through earlier. Same things apply here. Custom fields. So within the custom fields, we have like these 3 sub tabs that you'll see here. So this gives you the ability to add additional event or SUMO additional info fields to your different processes. So this first one here that says Invite Manager is for your new appointment button. So any additional fields you want to add for your users when they're scheduling this appointment to potentially fill out. This additional info is for your appointment links and your email and invite. So again, event and SUMO additional info fields that can be added to capture additional information for the email and invite or your appointment links. And then I have the multi-calendar tab. And when I pop open the multi-calendar during this webinar, I'll show you all of these different things, but just know that this is where it's being controlled. The filters, the hover over, and then your view pop-up. I can add additional fields here if I wanted to see a little bit more additional information on the multi-calendar. My booked tab, I can turn on and off the reschedule, cancel, print, add to Google, add to Outlook buttons. And then also down here, I have my cancel and reschedule advance notice. So if I don't want my customers to be able to cancel their appointment within 24 hours, I can come here and set this to 24 hours. And then they would receive this custom error message when they tried to cancel that appointment. So, you can put, if you'd like to cancel this appointment, please call this number, email this person. This would not stop you from internally canceling or rescheduling that appointment. It would just stop the customer from doing it from that cancel or reschedule button. My notifications tab. So this is where I would set up my reminder settings. So this first one is going to be your email reminder. If you get your SMS through SUMO, your text message reminders. And then in our very first webinar, we went through our new waitlist feature. And this is the setting that's going to control that waitlist that we talked about. And then your email templates. So just note that this group of email templates up top here is used when the host calendar connection is Google or Outlook. And then this group down here is used if the host calendar connection is the Salesforce calendar. And then if I get my SMS through SUMO, right here is where I would set up my text message template for this specific process. Then my search. So again, this makes a little bit more sense to explain to you once we get to that section, but just note that the search that I'm going to show you, it's controlled here in the search. So I can control the user search, the location search, the room or resource search, and they're all, if you just scroll down, they're all available here. Okay, so once I was all done with everything here to create my new process, I would go ahead and click on save. And then to test it out and show you what it's going to look like from your internal user's experience, I'm going to go ahead and navigate to a contact. And you'll notice right here up top, you see my new appointment and email and invite button. So first we're going to go new appointments. The first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is choose my service.
What is the color for there next to the service?
So the color here is automatically going to default based on my service. When I set up my service, I put a default color, but this will also control the color that it appears on the multi-calendar. And I'll make sure I show that to you when I pull open the multi-calendar. Okay. So then I would choose my where, whether it's going to be video conference, phone, or in person. My duration is automatically going to be put there by the service. I can choose to override that and add some additional time. I can override any pre-buffer or post-buffer. It's automatically going to add my contact here and then the host. I can add additional people here. So if I needed an additional person on this appointment with me, it would combine the availability and show me when Chantel and Angela were available together. I can pick my date and my time. I can set up a recurring appointment. Right here is my text message notification. This is my waitlist feature. I can add a message, I can upload a file, and right here's that checkbox if I wanted to hide the email address of those internal attendees. And then once I'm all done and I filled this out, I can send this appointment. Right here is your user search. So if I was to search here, this is the filters that I told you you could add additional filters here, or you can add, if I click service, 15 minutes and search, this is all my users that offer that service. And then you can also change the results as they're displayed here if you wanted to see some additional information. Then I'm going to scroll down once I pick my time and book my appointment. And what's going to happen here is emails are going to go out, ICS files are going to go out, the activity history is going to be updated for this contact so we can see all of that information. Then the next thing I'll go to is that email and invite. So the difference really between the new appointment and the email and invite is that new appointment is going to allow me to book an appointment with a customer within a matter of seconds. Like I'm going to go through it and bam, the appointment's booked. Email and invite will stop that back and forth. Like, oh, are you available here? Are you available here? You can send this email to a customer and they can see and pick their appointment based on your real-time availability. So same thing, going to come up here and choose my service, choose video conference, phone, or in person. My duration is here. I can limit the amount of appointments that can be booked, either with the link or the participant. And I can set, if it's just unlimited, then it'll be unlimited, but I can set a limit there. I can override the pre-buffer and post-buffer. There's my user search again. And if I was to do in person, you would see a location search. Again, I can add additional participants here. I can add, maybe another person that needs to join with this contact. And right now, if I was to send this link to this customer, they would be able to book with all of my open availability, everything you see in green here. I can come up here and change this to custom and say, okay, I only want this person to book with me this coming Friday from this time to this time. And then if I sent them this link, this is what they'd see for availability. And with that, I can also do recurring and anytime, which would allow me to book outside of my availability for this appointment. I can do rolling window, which would allow the customer to book with all of my open availability for the next however many days I set this to, and then the link would expire on whatever day I set this to. I can also do date range, and that would allow the customer to book with all of my open availability from this date and this time to this date and this time. Just note that when we're in that global tab in the process, when we went to go create it, that advanced, noticed, and furthest, this will respect that. So if that is set to 30 days, it won't let me put the end time past that 30-day mark. Okay. So then kind of same ability down here. I can add a message, I can upload a file, and then I can hide those email addresses. And then I would go ahead and click email invite. And what's going to happen from here is this customer is going to get an email that basically says, hey, we want to book an appointment with you. Please click here to book the appointment. So let me pull this over and kind of show you what it looks like in the email form. So right here, as soon as it loads up for me, the customer will get this type of an email, which again can be completely customized, your own header, your own footer. You can add some more information in here if you want to, but they would go ahead and click on this link, and then they would be presented with a screen to be able to book their appointment. So I can show you what that looks like as well. So right here, if I pop that open, they see that, it's a 30-minute meeting. It's a video conference. It's with the marketing team because I want to do this one with a resource pool. And then Mark, and then they'll see my availability so that they can go ahead and choose when they want their appointment. And then down here, they can invite other people. They can enter a note, and then they would just schedule their meeting. Again, when an email and invite goes out, it also is tracked in the activity history as an email and invite, a task. And then once this appointment is booked, it's also going to be tracked in the activity history. They can reschedule, they can cancel, and then they'll get an email with all of this information as well that will have a link to allow them to cancel or reschedule. And then the last thing I want to kind of show you guys is the multi-calendar. So this is the multi-calendar. I do have it set to the 1-week view, and very high level. Here are your filters up top. Remember, I showed you in the process that they're controlled here in the process. That's what controls it. And then here's my hover over this blue box that you're seeing here. I can add additional fields here that would display so I can quickly and easily see that information. I can also, when I click on this appointment, this is my view pop-up. So if I wanted to add some additional information here that when somebody clicks on that appointment, they would be able to see, I can add that there in the process where I showed you. Okay. All right, Lea, back to you.
Thank you, Angela. In conclusion, we've covered how businesses like yours can leverage our SUMO Invite Manager to simplify your scheduling needs, and we've shown you how to set up customized processes. We hope you find this webinar insightful and that you're excited to explore and how it can transform your scheduling processes. Remember, our team is here to support you in every step of the way. So now it's time to take action and make the most of what you've learned. To revisit today's content or share it with your team, our webinar videos will be available on multiple platforms. We have it on our SUMO Scheduler YouTube channel at sumoscheduler.com, and it will be on our SUMO CEP knowledge base. Reach out to support if you have any questions, need assistance, or encounter any challenges while implementing our solutions. Don't hesitate to reach out to our dedicated support team. We're here to help you succeed. And last, but certainly not least, be sure to join our next webinar when we dive into some of our more advanced administrative features. It's an opportunity to deepen your understanding and explore even more features that can benefit your organization. So I'd like to thank everyone once again for being part of today's webinar. We look forward to assisting you on your journey and to scheduling success with SUMO Scheduler.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining our webinar. Like Lea said, we'll have another one 2 weeks from today that's going to deep dive into our event scheduler platform. So feel free to go ahead and sign up. And then this webinar will be posted to our YouTube channel and our knowledge base within the next couple of days. So feel free to share it with the rest of your team. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.